Let me put this on. Are we gonna start in this amount of time?
You got your mask? Everybody got their mask?
Figure out. So I'm trying to figure out right now what kind of example are we setting as we get ready to talk about this Maschine Plus. You know what I'm saying? So we about to get into this Maschine Plus, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly,
Ugly.
the the ugly, the good, the bad, the ugly. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate anybody who's tuning in right now to this YouTube live just to check out what our thoughts are on this new Maschine Plus. Alrighty, so let's get into it. So let me make sure I bring y'all on. Bet.
Hey.
So of course Native Instruments introduced this. Before I even get into it, let me make sure this thing is actually on live. All right, bet. So of course Native Instruments introduced this new machine, you know what I'm saying? And it first was leaked a couple of days ago on Vintage Kings. I don't know if y'all even saw that. It was leaked on Vintage Kings, and people started doing all these videos on this new Maschine Plus. And then the next day, Native Instruments announced it on their website that it was a new machine, right? But so I want to kind of get your perspective on and your thoughts on this new machine. As I said, what are the good, the bad, the ugly type stuff, and we'll just dive into it. I'm gonna start off with Rick. Rick, what's your perspective on this new machine? How you feel about it?
Man, so kind of like you said, good, bad, ugly. So I'll keep it balanced. I am a fan of Native Instruments in general, so I'm gonna be gentle. I love the look of it. Like, I know it's based on the MK3. Like, on quick glance, it looks just like the MK3, but it looks like they use like this steel black kind of finish and kind of gives it like that Batmobile look to it. So I do love the look, and of course it'll be easy to navigate because it's functionally the same as the MK3. I do like that it is standalone, or with the air quotes standalone. It does give you a little bit more flexibility for the people who don't want to stay locked to a computer screen. So those are a couple of the things that I like. I'd rather just let some other people go with some likes. I don't want to dig into the dislikes yet.
Well, I don't even know. Like, we didn't even take a chance to introduce ourselves. Of course, everybody knows me. I'm Vaughan, creator and host of We Create Music TV. Rick, introduce yourself for a moment. I have everybody do that.
What's going on, everybody? Lurik O'Shea here. I'm a Nashville-based music creator, educator, and entrepreneur. Also newly professor at Belmont University here in Nashville, Tennessee, teaching a course called Hip Hop Production Techniques.
Professor Rick.
Yeah.
We're about to get schooled.
O'Shea.
We're about to get schooled.
That's right.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Lenny, I have you go next.
Let's go. So Lenny Luxo here, owner of Modern Lux Entertainment. We publishing, record label, and all of that. And avid Native Instrument user since the beginning of my production career. So I can't wait to get into it and kind of share my pros and cons of this new piece.
All right, DB.
And my name is DB, the producer. I'm a producer out of St. Louis, Missouri. We got a production company by the name of Noisy Neighbors. We are up-and-coming producers just trying to make a name for ourselves, man. But I'm an avid machine user as well. I love Native Instruments products as well. I can't wait to dive into this.
Hey, we're about to do it.
Turn up.
All right, so let's get into it. So Rick, you kind of shared some of your preliminary thoughts. Lenny?
Yeah, so just kind of take where Rick kind of left off. First off, I feel like Native Instruments, they always have a great pulse on the aesthetic of their pieces. Like, I mean, from their keyboards to their, their drum machines, everything. It's something you want to pick up. You're inspired just by the feel of it. And I love how their software always integrates seamlessly with whatever controller that they're trying to mix it in with. Sounds galore. You're never gonna get tired of finding something new. I mean, your sound's never gonna get dated. So I mean, that's what I think. First glance, looking at this Maschine Plus, it kind of keeps up with that culture, like that they want the nice, high end feel. Like you're gonna be inspired just by picking it up, and you're ready to work. So I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at on the pro side of it all too. So.
You know what? It's actually another pro I forgot to mention. I want to make sure I get my pros out there so that way when I get to the cons, it don't come off like I'm being a jerk.
You kind of got a balance.
Yeah. So it's kind of like making deposits. So when it's time to make a withdrawal, I don't overdraft my credibility. You know what I'm saying? But now I do love the fact that it has the 2 different USB ports on the back of it. So you can connect your MIDI controller and then connect the hard drive. So I do like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So that was the other pro I wanted to throw out there. So people don't think I'm a hater. I love Native Instrument stuff too. I'm not a hater.
He's like, I'm not a hater.
They definitely the go-to. No lie. For me, that's always been my go-to. I've been using it since day one. So I love their stuff.
Yeah, me too. I remember when it first came out.
Wait. We gotta get DB.
DB, oh yeah, for sure.
Like, wait.
DB, bro. No.
Nah, I mean, I wasn't going to add like another pro. I was just piggybacking.
DB, your thoughts, brother.
Man, I'm kind of excited and nervous at the same time. As an avid Maschine user as well, I purchased the MK3. I love all the features. I love the layout. I love the double screens. Now I'm excited because it's a standalone. Just being able to use a Maschine without a computer. I've been doing that for a while now since I've had the Maschine MK2 gold standard version. I try to use the Maschine and not look at the computer. And just having a standalone it's just something I feel like that was missing. Another thing that I'm excited about is the upgrade in the software. So Maschine is a great software to use, but the only thing that I didn't like was, the only issue that I had was you couldn't do a full song production, voices, and there was not a standard, but a certain way that you had to do your patterns. Now it seems as if you got a lot more possibilities with however you want to structure your music, just like you do in Logic, Pro Tools, or Sonar, Cubase, whatever that you like to produce. It's more of a linear DAW to me now. I'm excited about that. And the other thing, as he stated too early, was the 2 USB ports, being able to connect the keyboard and another hard drive, because it just seemed like it's not a lot of space to really do a whole bunch. But good.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get into some of that. So my first initial thoughts, I was super excited when I saw it. I was like, oh man, we've been waiting for a standalone Maschine. I mean, I had the MK2, then I had the MK2 twice, and then had it twice, and then I was like, a friend of mine back in St. Louis, Nab, had purchased the MK3. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna give the Maschine another shot. Got the MK3, fell in love with it. It was like, oh man, this is the one. Then, so now they got the Maschine Plus. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I'm more on the I do not like it side than the like it side. Like,
so you just going to jump right into it.
Just jump right into
the negative.
I'm gonna jump right into the.
Said the gloves is off.
The gloves is off, man. I know people have been waiting for this Maschine. I know we've been waiting for standalone. I know we've been waiting for not being able to use it with a computer. But I personally don't like the direction that they went with the creation of this new Maschine Plus, Ultra, whatever you want to call it. I just don't like the direction.
What's one thing that you don't like about it? Like, what's one tangible thing?
The tangible thing is the fact that with the Wi-Fi, what if I want to use it at the beach? What if I want to use it, like I'm Wi-Fi bound, which means I can only use it where Wi-Fi is available in standalone mode.
Are you sure? I thought it was saying the Wi-Fi was just for you to access the native access software to download updates. You should still
Is that the only reason? Is that the only? Because on the site it said you must have. I'm gonna go to there. I'm gonna pull up that site as we read this.
Yeah. Let's fact check, man.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we giving the people the right information.
I got a fact check on that.
That would be a news flash to me. Like I would absolutely horribly disappointing.
Horrible. Yeah. If you can't, let me see. Yeah, we're gonna fact check because I need to make sure. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna buy it.
It really doesn't matter. I mean, I don't want it anyway.
I'm not gonna buy it.
But for the rest of y'all out there, for the public, we're gonna do a due diligence.
Why?
Yeah, I think it's for initial setup.
I think it's for initial. It says you can use Maschine without a computer, but you need a wireless internet connection and your native ID to get set up. Okay, so to get set up.
Right. So you can still use it at the beach.
So once you can use it at the beach, well, actually you can't.
No, you can't. And that brings me.
Why?
That brings me to my first negative.
Why can't you use it at the beach?
It does not have a built-in battery. It must be plugged into a power outlet. I think everybody was like, "Really? Like, did y'all really do that?" You know what I'm saying?
I think the call's done. I think that's it. We don't even gotta go to Appreciate y'all.
There's more. I got some more now that the gloves off, but that would probably be
the gloves off.
That would probably be the biggest one.
Yo, that's number one. That's a big one.
I would say that was one of the biggest reasons why I moved from the studio to the MK3. I just hated that I had to continue to plug in that adapter in order to use it. Mm-hmm. So I had to make the Maschine Studio a stationary device. So I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I would say the same for the Plus.
Yeah, how are you not going to include one of the biggest pieces that you need in order to use it as a true standalone mode, which is a battery?
That's why I put it in quotes earlier because it's
a battery. How you not have a battery?
See, but I think this is some of the stuff that Apple be doing. Like I think
we on the same.
This is exactly what Apple does.
This is just a setup for what the real standalone is going to be. Like there's no way that this unit is going to do like crazy sales out the gate. No way. No way. Nah. Which is my second negative. The price. $1,400. Like in $1,400 in and of itself. For a piece of musical equipment isn't the bad part. It's what you're getting for that $1,400. Like for me, for $1,400, not only would I like a battery in it, I would also like the ability, since we're getting away from computers, which for the people that are not familiar, technically it's still a computer. It's a Linux-based computer housed in a Maschine case. But from everything I've read, I don't see anywhere where there is support for VSTs. Now, when Maschine first started, there was no VST support, and like everybody, and finally they offered VST support, only to give people the standalone that we've been asking for, and then take VST support away. I'm confused. Houseway, in the words of Kanye.
I think I agree exactly what you're saying. Like when I think of Native Instruments, I do think of them as like the Apple of the production world. They have the hardware and they have the software that's seamlessly integrated. That's what even down to the aesthetics. Like they know, again, going back to how it feels in your hand when you're looking at it. Same reason why you like the look and feel of an iPhone. But I'm with you. I was like, yo, there's no battery. Like when I first saw Standalone, that my first thing was like, yo, this is dope. I finally have something I could take on the plane with me. I could take at the beach. You know, I could literally just hold it and be around town. And, just be picked up. And I was so hyped for that. I was like, this is amazing. And then I started looking at it and I was like, wait, what is that little thing? Wait, why is that plugged to what's going on with it? Like, no. So turn me off right away. And it definitely is what you're saying. Like iPhone, you know, they got like the 10, then they got the 10 Plus or the 10S. You know, I feel like that's exactly what this is. Because it just looks like it's almost like an MK3 with like a nice skin and like some updated knobs and, you know.
It's MK3 Ultra.
And that's the part, I think that actually was a strength. Like, I think it was really smart to not change the layout. So, so that's not a negative for me. That's a positive that it looks
the learning curve and look.
Yeah, that it looks just like the MK3. It's just, I feel like they dropped the ball.
Yeah, it's just some of those other things that, you know, that we thought they were going to do, what they didn't necessarily do. You know, right? So it's good that it's only the wireless internet connection is only when you need to get set up. So that's a good thing, right? But then it comes to the thing we talked about: no VST support. You can only use exactly what's in the machine in standalone mode. Only standalone mode.
But you can still import your own samples, though. So I mean that's cool. I mean, it doesn't completely appease me, but it's like, well, at least y'all didn't mess that up.
But that's only the samples. But I can't use Omnisphere. Right. I can't use Nexus. I can't use any of those things that I probably would use as my normal workflow. Right. In standalone mode. Now, I can create the shell of what I want that composition to sound like, and then bring it back, hook it up, and then add everything else to it. But as a true standalone, I don't want to have to do that. I want to be able to make everything from start to finish in one device.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing.
I think if the price point was different, like a lot lower, like
definitely some sticker shock. Oh yeah,
man, that price point is ridiculous.
I mean, because doesn't Akai has a standalone
$11.99.
Nah, not that. I think they got another one. The MPC one. That's I think like $800, and it's standalone.
And it's standalone.
I just don't like the MPC software, so I mean I wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I don't like the MPC software either.
It's just it's not sexy enough for me, man.
It's not sexy enough.
Right. That's where Native Instruments gets you, because it's just, I'm inspired. Like I look at this thing, I'm like, bro, I'm about to cook right now. Like I love the look, the software, the machine itself just is great. Like I know it's a quality piece of equipment. So
that's
quality piece of okay, we know once you have internet connection, you get it all set up, cool, you can then use it wherever you want to use it, plugged in. So some people have said, you know what, you just go get a battery pack, go buy a battery pack, and then hook it up to the machine plus, and then cool, you can use it in standalone mode.
But
why I want to do that? I want to do that. I gotta go buy a battery pack.
Right. So you start adding stuff and extensions off of your device real fast. You figure you want your MIDI keyboard on top of that. You want your hard drive on top of that. You want your battery pack on top of that. Eventually, you're going to find yourself sitting right back in your studio. Like right back in, because that's the most comfortable place to cook up with it. So,
you can be like,
Now what's surprising to me, kind of when companies do stuff like this, is like I know a company at this level, you have a research and development team, you have a marketing team, you have all this stuff. So I always wonder, I'm like, not only how, but why did it get to this point? Like I feel like we shouldn't even know about it yet. Like, I mean, they shouldn't be taking pre-orders. Like this should have been the market research phase, and then they would have heard all this stuff.
Well, they did that already.
They wasn't talking to us.
Like, I'll say this, Rick. Unbeknownst to us, what we don't know is the bigger piece. Like I know that the next machine that comes out, is going to be everything that we're griping about right now and
Yeah.
more. Because they like Native Instruments, I have full faith and confidence. Like they're not about to leave us hanging like this.
Right.
But I know that Maschine Plus is probably the avenue that's going to pay for that research and development. This is all beta testing, I feel like, for that piece that we're about to go crazy for. And they know, $1,400 sticker shock, so what? But, somebody's going to pay for it. And then we're going to be paying $2,200 for the next thing that we really, 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 really want.
No, we're not. Nope.
You don't think so?
Nope. DB's like,
no.
Nope, we ain't paying for that. We ain't no. Right. So okay. So let me run through what they talk about that's in here. Right. Okay. So Wi-Fi connection to get set up. Once you get it all set up, it's an immersive standalone workflow for creating beats, melodies. I mean, you can do all that on the machine currently today. What I want to know is because it says on here under features and specifications, it includes Maschine Plus selection, and it includes industry leading instrument sounds, effects, plus renowned machine drum and bass synths. So with the normal machine, the one that's sitting back there playing, doing all that fancy stuff, the normal machine, you get get context select with it, which is 45 gigs. This Maschine Selection Plus is 24 gigs, because when you think about it, the flash drive card that's inside of this Linux run Maschine Plus is only 24 gigs. I mean, it's 32 gigs.
32. Yeah.
It's 32, and this Maschine Plus selection is 24 gigs. So what happened to my complete selection? Can I not use that anymore? Am I only limited to this Maschine Plus selection when I am in standalone mode?
That's another thing that gets me, because even with that, so once you log in with the native access, it allows you to see everything that you have purchased via native instruments. But what about VSTs like the session strings, or the keyboards, or George Duke? Those are large, massive libraries. Like I can't use them. I paid for them.
Like a day and a half to download that bad boy.
Right.
But with that, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say with the George Duke and the session strings and all those other stuff, those are NKS, and on their site, when I go here to compare, it says only the NKS instruments and effects are used in controller mode. You cannot use them in standalone mode.
Oh.
Yes, sir. You cannot. So expandability, standalone, selected instruments, effects, expansion, samples, and loops. So it's going to be what they indicate or decide to be what you can use in standalone mode. But for controller mode, regular mode, you can use your NKS instruments and effects, your expansion, samples, and loops from sounds.com, any third-party VSTs and audio unit plugins. So, I mean, pretty much you got your regular machine. But in standalone mode, you're not going to use your George Duke or your, the Gentleman library or your Alicia Keys. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to use none of that.
Wow.
And once again, I would be okay with that. Like, I would be okay with the start here and finish at home if it wasn't $1,400. Like, it's like you're trying to get me to pay. Yeah, you're trying to get me to pay more and get less, way less.
Mm-hmm.
Like where are you really? Because think about where you're really cooking at. That's not at your crib. You're gonna go to a studio where you're paying per session, or you're gonna be in a session at somebody else's crib or studio where you're trying to capture a vibe. Like I can't be like, oh, let me kill the vibe. Let me just lay something down. Let me go back to the crib. Let me finish this beat. I'm gonna kick it back to y'all. Like if you had in a moment and you're really creating something, like you want access to those go-to like the session strings. You want access to those that George Duke. You want access to all those bigger sounds that kind of help you get there.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I gotta correct myself. Hold on, let me put the Skype not in full screen mode so I can see my internet too. So, hey, so B, you're on the Native Instruments website looking at this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, hold on, let me see. Can I close this? All right, yeah. So I don't know how I missed this before. Now I could be misinterpreting, but it says under additional requirements, it says USB 2 port, 9 gig free disk space, but right below that it says supported interfaces, standalone VST2 audio units, AAX64 ASIO core audio. So that right there, I'm confused now because it seems like if it does support VSTs, that's not something you would put as a bullet point under additional requirements.
But that's in controller mode though. So go under compare. Go under the compare.
Oh yeah, there's.
And then look under expandability. And then for the Maschine Plus.
I don't know if I'm on the page. Oh yeah, compare. All right.
Yeah. And so under there, it tells you standalone mode versus controller mode. And if you notice, standalone mode does not say NKS instruments or effects. It does not say third-party VSTs. It says controller mode.
They got me. Sneaky. I was starting to feel relieved. I'm like, oh wait, I had it all wrong.
But no, you don't.
Man.
Aha.
That's whack.
That is whack. That is whack. I mean, there's certain things I don't understand about what they did and why they did it, right? So when I'm reading this whole thing under their features and specifications, so that's the biggest thing for me. I don't know where my complete selection went, and can I use my complete selection that I get with my normal MK3 in Maschine as a standalone. So it says on the Maschine plus selection. It tells me it's a quad-core PC, CPU, but I don't know what quad-core.
Right, like how fast is it?
Is it an i5? Is it an i3? Is it an i7? Is it a 2.6? Is it a 3.1? I mean, I don't know. It's 4 gigs.
IDK. That's what it is.
It's the IDK. It's right.
That's right.
IDK, because I don't know.
Wait, no. It says it right here.
Where?
At the top of the system requirement page. Now it listed under control. Nah, that's under controller mode. Never mind.
Yeah,
that's right. That's when you hook it up to the computer.
See, they keep trying to suck you in with this misleading information, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
okay.
Right. So it's quad core.
I could do i5. Oh wait.
Right.
That's
no. I'm gonna tell you what. For $1,400, I want an i7 processor. 3.1 gigahertz. I want 16 gigs because that's what you can expand the Akai up to 16. Even though it normally comes with 2, and that's what people say. Well, the Akai comes with 2 gigs of RAM and with less space. I get that, but it's a true standalone. It's a true standalone.
I mean, I feel
there's
like
a battery in there, swear.
And it's a battery in there.
There's a battery.
I mean, man, I said this last night on Instagram Live, and I was like, for $1,400, you could go to MacofAllTrades.com, buy you a certified refurb MacBook Pro for like less than $1,000. Like, I mean, we're like a good i7 one. I mean, we may be talking about $800-900.
I just bought one.
And use your MK3 that you already have. And
I just bought it.
You're in standalone mode.
That's right.
Oh, you just got a new one?
I just got a new one.
What's the specs on
my man.
It got an i7 processor in
it. I know what it do have. It do have i7.
I know what it got. I know it got a 2.9 i7 processor in it. I know it got 16 gigs of RAM. You know what I'm saying?
And it got that battery.
And it got that battery. It got that battery. And it got 500 gigs of space.
That's right.
With this plus my Maschine back there, bruh. It's already it's blazing fast already. Yeah. So one of the crazy parts is if you read under the features and specifications, it says pro grade. So it's talking about the audio interface. Pro grade 44.1 kilohertz 24-bit audio interface.
But the 24-bit is in controller mode.
No.
Like,
That's the 24-bit.
Now
the
look
20
at the asterisk at the bottom.
Yeah, but notice with the asterisk at the bottom, that's the issue, is that in the standalone mode you only have 44.124, but in controller you got 96.24.
I mean, that's not a big deal. If we're gonna be super honest with it,
It's really not that big of a.
Yeah, it's really not a big deal. Like I know, I mean, here in Nashville, I work at 2 studios, and I can tell you, like, pro engineers a lot of times aren't even using 96K.
Right.
Like if you're doing like, what I'm saying, like pop, hip hop, R&B.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people might use it, but and matter of fact, but they got enough negative things going on right now with the Machine Plus. I'll give them this. I'm going to give them some grace with this, because it's like, you know what? Y'all already got enough X's already, so I ain't gonna make it worse.
You're not gonna make it worse. DB, what about you over there, brother?
Man, y'all just got me thinking. The more and more we talk about it, it just seems like it's more for a performer rather than a producer. Like you can with I can do a solid night of performance, drum pad machine type stuff, than I could produce. I don't really need the VSTs for real, but I can load my own drum kits, which like that son, another native instrument user, he actually does live sets with his. It just sounds like that's all that you can pretty much do and get away with actually having love for using your machine. The standalone version, anyway.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, because once you said that visually, I started like, you know what? I have seen musicians on stage before with laptops and modules.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what if get rid of the laptop now, and you just got a finger drummer on stage with you to supplement what your human drummer is doing. So maybe that's who they're targeting.
Well, yeah. So if you look on the where's it at? It says who is for, right? So under compare, it's perfect for producers and performers who want an immersive standalone experience that combines high quality sounds with the iconic machine workflow. Right? So there you go. So for those folks who may use it in any type of live setting to do some of those things, then yeah. I mean, because when you think about it, that was one of the biggest things with Ableton and the push, is that you could use it in live settings, and you can press your clips and trigger the different clips to do what you wanted it to do in a live setting. So I guess that's what they're trying to do. I mean, the good thing is, if you got this, I gotta go this way, the jam that's back there, then in a live setting along with the jam, maybe you can daisy chain the jam directly into the machine, and then I don't know if you can use it that way.
I'm still disappointed.
I don't know. I'm still disappointed.
Like I keep looking through, like when you get bad news, but then you keep looking into it, hoping you miss something.
Like, did I miss something? Like, wait a minute,
man.
Did I
I mean, it's true though. It's like you look at the compare and you're like, which one of these does not belong? Like, it's literally.
Which one?
I mean, I see their business model. It's like, from the micro to the machine, we paying twice as much. From the machine to the machine plus, we paying more than twice as much. Like, it's really tough. I will say this though. This is where I know they got me. I don't foresee me making the jump to the machine plus, but I'm still faithful and optimistic about Native Instruments and direction that the company's headed as a whole. Like, I still am super loyal to the sounds that they have. I'm still, seeing this, I'm like, all right, they might have missed the mark for what I do, but it's for somebody. Somebody gonna
drop 1,400 on it. It won't be Vaughan though.
And here's the thing too. So when you look at like the MK2 and then you go to the MK3, right? Immediately, like, you're like, man, the MK2 now, I feel like I'm just like, I'm dated. Like, I kind of need the MK3 now. When I was sitting at my setup, in my crib, I got my machine right next to me, and I see the commercial. I see all the ads start coming up on Instagram or whatever the other day. Matter of fact, what's his name was one of the first dudes I saw, that Carmen Rizzo over at Native Instruments. I remember commenting, I was like, man, this is a beautiful piece of machinery. Like, I literally commented, I was like, this is nice. But I looked back at my machine, and I was like, I still love you. I was like, I'm not leaving this. I was like, I still love this setup. Like, there's nothing about seeing the new device that made me want to just jump ship and be like, yo, I gotta have the new one. Like, there was nothing about that. I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good for where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that way for me for the jump from MK2 to MK3. Because, I mean, if you saw the video that I got about, my top 5 about Maschine, I hated the MK2. It was, oh gosh, that's why I had 2. Because I sold it, I bought it, sold it, bought it again, sold it again. Like,
Jeez.
yeah, no. But when that MK3 came out and I saw that there was a difference between the MK2 and the MK3. There were certain things that I no longer had to hold the shift. Yeah. I mean, there was just, they took the stuff from the MK2 and they took the stuff from the studio and kind of just put it in a very convenient, amazing, beautiful groove box. And it just made that machine amazing. This is the same thing. It just has, quote unquote, some fancier things. Like, I saw a video that said, oh yeah, you cannot use a hard drive with it. I was like, what? Wait a minute. They just said on their site, it's also expandable via USB for larger libraries. But then, and this is coming from a guy who stated in one of the videos that he has a direct connection to Native Instruments. He is using he was using the Maschine Plus, and he said that you cannot add a hard drive to it.
Almost makes you wonder if they're gonna set it up where you gotta buy a Native Instruments hard drive loaded with the sounds to run off.
Wow, that as a businessman, that's good marketing. As a consumer, I'm like, that's kind of whack.
Yes, as a consumer, I'm upset about that. But as a person who, for business, I'm like, okay. I'm gonna tell you what they're going to start to do. They're gonna pull a Reason. That's what they're about to do. They are gonna pull a Reason. Look at DB stuck over there.
and for the people that may be watching right now, not familiar with what you're alluding to, Q, go ahead, unpack that. What do you mean by pull a Reason? I know you're talking about the Reason software, but what specifically?
Yeah, because for years, Reason was a standalone. I'm gonna go to a different screen to DB come back. So for years, Reason was a very standalone, closed system. You could not, other developers couldn't create things for it, right? No matter how hard they tried, until Reason made the change to allow VSTs. But before that, they came out with all those rack extensions. So for all my Reason heads, you know what rack extensions are. They are made specifically for Reason. I mean, they look amazing. I love the way that these rack extensions look. Yeah. But they're only for Reason. I can foresee Native Instruments doing that with their quote unquote VSTs, right? So they got Faces and ROM, which already is going to come on the machine. They got Monarch and Massive. Reactor. They're going to start making those more and utilizing those on the machine more than the other stuff. I'm just thinking that's what they're going to do. Kind of what Reason started to do. They went out to all these other developers and say, hey, you know what? You can make a rack extension exclusively for Reason. Even though they have these companies making the NKSs, they're going to go to them and say, hey, you can make this specifically for machine selection that our folks can use in standalone mode. Yeah.
Side note, if I can make just a little quick plug, just because it relates to what you were saying about Reason. So y'all make sure y'all check out episode 18 of the Faders Up podcast, because we interviewed the main sound designer from DNA Labs that make rack extension for Reason.
That's right. Because they make the Hydra Nexus.
Yeah, I got the Nexus.
I love the Hydra Nexus.
They've been pushing. They got a brand new one out called Glacius X. Okay. Which and so he talked to us a lot about that as far as from the creation process to kind of how he feels about it. His name is Jason. That's the sound designer that we had on. So he designs all the sounds for our DNA lab. So that is on Faders Up podcast episode.
Hey, don't worry. I'm coming for that connection because I want to interview him.
Yes, sir. Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
no problem.
Because they got some DNA Lab has some. I know we ain't talking about Reason and all that, but DNA Labs make some dope stuff.
They got some fire.
They
bro.
got fire. They made the Hydronexus, and there's another one that they made as a rack extension in Reason that I have. That's
Helios or Aquios.
Aquios. It's the Aquios. I got the Aquios. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that.
Yes,
too.
sir. Lenny, I know you don't use Reason, but yeah, those two.
I dabbled in Reason, back in the day,
Yeah.
Oh, side note. Here's another side note. Machine, that's y'all fault that we talking about other stuff now, cause y'all messed up. But nah. So earlier, maybe like a couple months ago, my homie put me on to this sale they were having on pluginboutique.com, where if you bought Iris, which was Isotope Iris, which was only $9.99, you got Reason Rack Lite for free.
What?
So I didn't have Reason anymore. Like, I sold my license several years ago, but when I saw that, I'm like, that's all I wanted for now. I'm like, I don't need the sequence and arranging Reason, but if I can get Reason Rack, because now you can put Reason as a VST in other DAWs. So if I can just get that Reason Rack and then use rack extensions, bruh. I mean, I shared Vaughan's reaction. He missed out on that one.
Native Instruments getting ready to try and pull a Reason and having all these developers create, the extensions for their specific DAW. I mean, do you feel like that might be like a slippery slope though? Like, I mean, especially nowadays with, you look at where Reason's at now and what you were just talking about. Well, now we're using Reason as a rack extension and other DAWs. Like, eventually they had to give in and was like, you know what? We thought this was going to work. We didn't have enough market share, as big a market share as we originally thought. Now, why don't you go ahead and, we still want to play with y'all. Why don't you let me cop into your DAW? Like, let me play with what you guys got going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can kind of see it both ways. There was a video that I watched. I can't remember the video that I watched, but in the video, the guy was talking about the Maschine Plus, and in their description, it mentions something about the VSTs. It mentions something about it in regards to that they may be able to they may create their own VSTs, and I can't remember exactly what it was. I wish I could find it because it mentions something about that, and it was on Abe McCree's, not Traptendo. Abe McCree, is he Traptendo? Is that what Abe McCree is? But
I don't know.
But yeah, but Abe McCree is he does a lot of stuff with music and reviews and stuff like that. And I think he mentioned it on his review about the Maschine was looking at, or Native Instruments was going to be looking at kind of creating their own Maschine Select VSTs, specifically for Maschine Select. Now, because in standalone mode, now keep in mind, I'm only talking about standalone mode, because right now you can only use Maschine stuff in standalone mode, as far as Maschine selection. So that's it. Once you are out of Maschine selection and you're into controller mode, you can use all your NKS stuff. But if you want to use these other ones, then you would have to use it as standalone. And so like I say, I'm thinking I can foresee that they're going to start having companies create things for standalone mode and also their normal NKS. But if you want to use your Alicia Keys library in standalone mode, then they're probably going to make a platform or a way or a program or something to actually do that in standalone mode.
I can almost see too a scenario where, given the price point on something like this, I'm almost afraid that this will be the new norm. And you look at, what a lot of other companies are already doing, and in a way, kind of what Maschine has already been, or Native Instruments has been doing with their sounds.com stuff. But I could see a scenario where we're no longer getting excited or paying big bucks for their software. I could see where they're about to get us for $49.99 a month, access to all the software, and have a subscription service, and your hardware is what's about to drive
Please don't do
their
that.
cost. I can almost, I mean, and the only reason why I say that right now is you look at people like, for instance, you have Lander who does subscription with your mastering. Then you have guys who just, a big one was Auto-Tune. Auto-Tune just went to subscription service.
I saw that.
And I'm like, man, if this is the way that these companies are going to start pulling together, like, we're going to got for $200 a month on just using the stuff we want to use on the daily. I'm
gonna tell you what, Vaughan ain't gonna get got because I'm gonna use that right back there. Still,
that's right.
If it ever went to a subscription, I am not doing it. I can't, because you got too many people who are doing it. I mean, when you think about just from a sounds perspective, sounds.com, Splice, Lander, Output. Like if I want to use Arcade, I got to pay for it every single month. And Arcade is dope, but I'm not paying for it every single month.
Now here's the good thing about Arcade. Once let's say you're working at Arcade, and let's say you're working with the Drip sound library. Once you, from what I understand, and I haven't tried it yet, but once you have the sounds downloaded on your computer, even if you cancel the subscription, you can still access the sounds you already downloaded.
Ooh.
That's what my homie Cadence told me. He's
so I don't know if that's 100% true, but I'm
about to look that up.
It's been multiple times. I was just saying, it's been multiple times I did not have access to no type of ping-in, no hotspot. And if I had the sound downloaded, I was good. Like, I could use my output library for days. So I think there might be some.
I haven't verified it yet, but he uses Arcade way more than I do, and he was the one that told me that. So
that's fair. Okay.
Because
I hope that's the case.
But did he cancel his subscription? Is that what you said?
I don't know if he did cancel it, but he told me that once you have it, you have it. So once again, I didn't verify myself, and I say that as I'm going through, as we're online right now, and I have the internet browser pulled up, because I put a reminder in my phone that I needed to pause my Splice subscription for 2 months starting today. And that's something I like about Splice, because if you cancel it, you lose access to anything that you've liked but didn't download. But if you pause it, my collections and organization is still there. So just because of the pandemic, man, I'm gonna pause it for 2 months because I haven't been using it. I have almost 500 credits just sitting there.
Hey,
so I'm gonna pause.
Don't you share the credit?
Nope. I knew what you was about to say.
You know it.
Let me hold that right quick.
Okay.
Let me hold a couple of those credits.
I'm gonna pause it real quick.
Hold a couple of them credits. Okay, so let me go back. So, Maschine, right? But that's what happens when you have something that doesn't tickle your fancy, and you're like, you know what? It could have been amazing, but it's not so amazing. So we go on to talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, the reality is that this machine is going to be for somebody. It may not be for people who currently have the MK3. It may not. It's definitely not going to be for me until I see what comes after the machine, right? I need Maschine Ultra, and it needs to have a 1 terabyte SSD in there. It needs to have 16 gigs of RAM and i7. But it needs to have what you can get out of a MacBook Pro directly in there already. So then, and I need to be able to use standalone mode as a true standalone mode with a battery. So one of the videos I saw, the guy was like, well, they probably didn't put a battery in it because batteries explode, and man, we got batteries in everything. We got batteries in phones. And batteries, I mean, granted, I realize batteries can explode, but I don't think that's the norm. They just bursting all over the place. But if they give us all the things that we truly need in a standalone mode, then I can then foresee dropping $1,400 if it included everything that you truly needed. So when you think of the Akai MPC 2, true standalone, touchscreen, battery, everything. I can take it on a plane, plug in headphones, make beats, almost from start to finish if I really wanted to, because it gives me access to all the. I mean, I don't have third-party VSTs and stuff. I don't think I'm not a Akai user, so my Akai folks are gonna have to kind of tell me if that's true or not. But I feel that once we truly get that dream machine, and maybe that's what it'll be called, dream machine. But
that's deep. You better trademark that.
I'm gonna trademark that.
And let them buy that from you.
Right. Maybe if it's called Dream Machine, then it has all those. What I do like the metallic look. I get just finesse to it. But then again, it doesn't have the rest of the stuff, so I'm just gonna stay plugged in.
That's a machine. You a machine MK3 skin away from getting the metallic look though. Like you could literally just put a little something out.
Now I will say that's something that I'm slightly disappointed. They were making face plates for them. I'm like, why did y'all move away from that? I'm like, I mean, that would easily be another source of, like, I don't know if that ratio was beneficial for them, but I'm like, the face plates weren't super expensive for consumers. Like if I had the money right now, I spend $50-$60 just to change the way my machine looks.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah,
I mean there's nothing else. License it. Just license somebody else to build it.
Yeah,
you don't got to do it. Just give me the schematics and the dimensions of it.
But they
I'll say this though. I was gonna say, I'll say this though, and this is how you know, like, this isn't the end all be all. Like, there's definitely much bigger stuff to come. Like the fact that, like, this is a testament to how good this company is. Plus, and we were disappointed, like, because we expected so much more from this already great company. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my takeaway from all this. I'm like, man, we expected so much more because we know what they're capable of from past experience.
You know what?
One of our
I'm
sorry. No, I would say one of the people listening, he said sometimes you got to master what you have, which is true. Like, sometimes you have to. I'm not mashing this Machine Ultra or Machine Plus, but
Ultra sound good too, man.
Machine Ultra, Dream Machine.
Hey, I did just find online there are companies now, because I remember when the MK3 first came out, I was looking for the skins, and I guess when it first came out, the companies that were making them, like the third-party companies that were making them for the 2, hadn't started making them yet. But now companies like StyleFlip.com and 12-inch skins with a Z.com, they do have skins starting at like $30-$40. So yeah, I would definitely get one of these.
Yeah,
red trying to clean.
That's my favorite.
I'll get a red one too. I'm all about the.
You gotta get that Lenny Luxo. You gotta get that teal. You know what I'm saying? Look, you gotta put the teal on it.
Hey,
the modern Lux.
Man,
modern
Lux.
Right. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say when he mentioned teal, so in my studio, well, y'all can't see it because I got a background, but in my studio, like, I built all my own bass traps and wall panels, and teal is one of the color schemes I use. Like teal and gold.
I'm about to pull up. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, that's
hey, DB.
Going to Nashville, boy. Over the mountains.
Yes, sir.
DB, I'm not sure what happened, but I'm glad you're back, though.
Man, I live in North County in St. Louis, and we got trees everywhere, so our internet goes out.
Oh, you live in Hazelwood.
Yep. Exactly.
Look, I know. I was in U City, so.
DB, I hope you don't owe nobody some money because they not saying.
For real.
So DB, I mean, we were just really talking about kind of wrapping up the machine. We had actually moved to some other stuff, talking about Reason and arcade and a whole bunch of different stuff. But I mean, when you really think, as I was telling the group, I don't know how long you've been back. I know I just got your message, but like, I know for me, this is a huge disappointment. I wasn't. It's not a huge disappointment. Like, if my expectations, it is.
Yeah. Tell the truth, man. Let them know how you feel, man. Tell them why you mad, son.
Yeah. Because I was expecting for them to come out the gate like, here it is, everybody. Y'all been waiting for it. Here it is. This is the machine. This is the dream machine. It has the 1 terabyte SSD drive. It has 16 gigs of RAM. It has an i7, quad core processor. I was telling the group, I said, if they just put what was in here, in that,
Yep.
and for $1,400,
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
I'd have been like, where my credit card at?
Exactly.
So where do you think the price point should be at for this device compared to the MK3?
$649.
No.
You can't.
What do you think the realistic price should be?
Oh,
$799, $800.
800.
Yeah, probably 800.
Yeah.
The normal, the MK3 now is six. Okay.
640.
Okay.
Okay.
It's $649, right?
Yep.
Okay. How much did you pay for your machine, your MK3, when you first bought it? $599.
You're right.
I paid $5.
Actually, I think I got blessed with that.
The
Yeah.
price went up on these?
Yes,
I ain't even been paying attention.
bruh. The price is now $640. Look,
I didn't even on some sneak stuff. Like I didn't even think about it until you said it. I mean, I got blessed, with my whole scenario.
I do know. I do know.
But so yeah, looking at it, I'm like, They do seem a little. I'll say this: my respectable price compared to the $649 price will be $849. Like you're getting a little bit more, but you're getting a little bit more.
I could do that.
So pay a little bit more, just a little bit more. You're not getting twice as much.
Right. Oh, not
because it's double the price. I can't do that. It's not justifiable.
It's more than double that.
It's more than double. I can't.
But you're not getting more than double. Unless this come with, Native Instruments complete 13 preloaded out the box standalone. Like
no, sir, it does not.
I could do it. I don't even need the Ultimate. I just need complete 13. That's not the price point to make the difference.
No.
Now, what you know is funny is because I feel like that would have been so much easier to do. Because here's the thing with software: once you make it once, it's not like you have perpetual expenses.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a business trying to make more money. But it's like once you make the software, like if I make a drum kit, whether I sell it to one person or 1,000 people, I only had to make the drum kit once. So I only had those expenses first. If they would have included the entire complete for it, you could better justify $1,400. I'm not saying I would still buy it, but could. But not even all the way, because complete doesn't cost like $700 anymore.
What?
But bless me with the Ultimate. You could charge $13.99.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, the producer business side of me is like, well, then I don't need that. Like I've been rocking with Native Instruments for a minute. What if I don't need the Ultimate part? Like what if I don't need that? What if I just want the piece?
Yeah. So maybe
you got to cut the price.
So maybe they could have Machine Plus Ultra, like you were saying, and then just Machine Plus. No, Machine Plus in the Dream Machine.
But look, being for real though, they may do that.
Yeah.
They may do that, because all of these DAWs have a light version.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So there's Reason Light, or whatever it's called, or Ableton Light, right? Then you got the Reason Suite, right?
Yeah.
And so they do the same thing. They got complete, which is just the regular complete Ultimate, and then the complete Ultimate Collector's Edition, which is $15.99. So the complete 13 is $599. 68 instruments, 36,000 sounds, 320 gigs for $599.
That's not fitting on the Machine Plus.
That is not fitting on the Machine Plus at all. At all. Not with no 32 gigs. No, sir.
Something I was thinking about too, as far as the price is concerned, I wonder why they didn't do like a cross grade type of thing, like for the people who already have machines. Can you give them some type of incentive? Okay, you already got the MK3, let's give you half the price for it. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't even do that.
Right. See, that's what I used to love about Reason. I remember one year Reason had a name your own price for upgrade. I paid like $1.
Bro, I made you just admitted that, bro.
Hey,
Hey,
Being
wait,
an
hold up, wait,
avid
wait.
user.
Hold up.
Ah,
Hold up. Because it should have been free. That's why the update should have been free. Because they were just now adding the capability for audio and a couple other things. And it should have been a free update, but they decided they wanted to try to charge people. And so they did a name your own price. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Because it should have been free. I'm going to do $1. Now, now, hey, $1. $1.
that's like on the Price is Right. Everybody like 500, 950,
$1.
1,000.
$1 buy.
$1. Hey, but sometimes them dollar people be winning though.
They do.
But
Yeah.
but it was I paid it $1 for that. But then every release after that it was $129, right? So if you was a Reason user from Reason, like so I had Reason 9, we just upgraded to Reason 10. So I paid $129. I didn't have to pay the whole $599 or whatever the actual full price is because I was a Reason user.
Exactly.
Now, granted, now, granted, I would say they do that with their Complete, right? So if I already own
That's what I was
Complete,
gonna say.
I can pay $199 or $399 or $499 instead of the whole $15.99.
And I think that goes back to what Rick's point when he was talking about, like, the cost, the reproduction cost is what it is to develop the software at that point. It's not, you don't have to keep reproducing that. It's just
That's right.
copy, duplicate. Right. I mean, to get to make DB's point, that's almost like, the Apple model where it's like, okay, turn in your old iPhone. We're going to bless you with upgrades to your new iPhone, which I think there's an argument for that too, but it's tough. Like, I don't think the producer community's there yet. Like, I don't think the producer community is at the Apple iPhone. Let me turn in my old stuff and, faithful to one company, I would say. You could do it at Guitar Center because you're like, I really want the new machine, but I got this old mic. Like, I'm ready to, maybe something like that. That business model works there, but I don't think Native Instruments has enough market share. I'll say just yet. I mean, to be able to trade in, trade up.
Do they have that big of a market share?
As big a market share to do it?
Probably not. Not as big as probably the MPC and the Push.
Yeah.
And today a lot of people are going toward. So one of the guys, and you may know him, Murcielago, the Machine Monster. That's right, Murcielago. I'm plugging you on here because I'm about to talk about what you told me the other day. Is the fact that he's now using BeatMaker. Right, that's on your iPad. I know a lot of my homie Cheese, the producer, uses BeatMaker. He was one of the first to use BeatMaker when BeatMaker came out. I know Henny the Business uses I think he used BeatMaker also. More people are starting to go to like iPad type of production tools for all of their music creation. So
and it's because it's standalone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Being dead serious. No, I'm being dead serious.
Hint.
it has a battery.
And that's another thing about Maschine. Even when they came out with their iMachine software on iOS, so I got that. Somebody just said on YouTube they can't hear you.
When?
I hope it ain't been like that the whole time.
I hope. Dude,
that would be hella weird.
Who was it that said it?
A friend of mine that I texted the link to just now.
Oh, they can't.
But
yeah, that'd be crazy.
Man, I hope not.
They can't hear
Let's
me.
keep our fingers crossed. But but yeah, with the iOS, with the iMachine, I mean, it was dope. It was only $5. I knew it was limited. I mean, but they haven't built on that. It's kind of like they came out with a good product, with the integration with Maschine, and then they just stopped. So iOS production has continued to increase and gain momentum, and they just were like, we're good.
Yep.
Like stuff like that, things like that threaten brand loyalty. Like Lenny, I feel what you were saying, in terms of loyalty and us using these products forever, but it's the same way with any business. people start to take you for granted, you know, even if
Yeah.
you want to talk about politics or whatever it is like we have to make companies earn our business, you know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Right.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, that'd be crazy if people can't hear me. And I've been talking to all this
Man.
stuff. But hey, hopefully in the recording can hear me. So to our 3 people who are watching at this moment that are now online, can y'all, I want to make sure, I don't even know if we've been going at this for an hour.
Yeah.
So if y'all can't hear me after an hour, it's like, I don't know. My streaming software is telling me.
She said she still can't hear you. Man.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
crazy.
we can't do nothing about it now, but
I can't do nothing about that now. I don't think
Come
I
back
can
and run it back tomorrow.
Hey, we can do that. Run it back tomorrow. That's right.
the
Yeah,
native
guitar
instrument.
I actually play with one of these with my mask and gloves on, and we're gonna figure this out.
That's right. Mask and gloves. But man, so final thoughts. Okay, bet. Bam. Look at this. He said, I can hear you.
Okay.
That's right. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Bet.
Bet. Cause I'm like, oh man, I've been on this thing for an hour. Can't nobody hear me? Like that'd be a Debbie Downer right there, like that. All right. So final thoughts. DB, final thoughts.
Out the gate, I'll stick to my MK3. The MK Plus is a great. It has the possibility of being a great product. As long as they listen to the people, if they can listen to the people, I think they have a great product on their hands. But yeah, MK3, I'll stick with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I'm still sticking with my MK3, but going along with the phrase that it's something about press, like there's no such thing as bad press or whatever it is. Like even though this is underwhelming, they're still winning because what are we talking about? We're talking about native instruments right now. So
that's right.
That would be my takeaways. Like it's still not a horrible loss for them because all eyes on native instruments right now.
That's real.
Lenny?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Maschine Plus, I'm still rocking with my MK3 as well for now. But in many respects, I think it's kind of exciting because I think it's just a preview of what's to come in the future with a lot of the direction they're headed. So I think this will be a flagship piece. Like we'll look back, I feel like, years from now and be like, oh, you know what? I remember when they put the Maschine Plus out and like it literally was a trajectory piece for like what devices are to come down the line. So I'm excited for it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'm gonna own a Maschine Plus, but I'll be excited to see what they come after this. No doubt.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
For sure.
I guess last comments for me is the fact that I'm not dropping $1,400. I work wonders with that machine in the back, and I just can't justify the expenditure for a Maschine Plus. It doesn't outweigh what I currently have to purchase it.
Yeah.
So,
bro, I've been meaning to ask you a question. Because I'm assuming you're in front of your computer right now. So how do you have,
Yeah.
So how do you have your machine like lights going off like that?
Hey, look over there.
Oh, is that a laptop right there?
You got it.
Oh, okay.
It's the old one. It's my old laptop.
Gotcha. I thought I was tripping. I was like, I didn't even see it. It blended into the background. Like,
That's right.
Oh, that is a laptop.
It's
Okay.
it's an unlocked, jailbroken, standalone machine.
I thought he had the cheat code, bro. I thought he had the cheat code for real. I was like, dang.
Native Instrument knocking on the door to this Skype call right now.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what's being said right now. He said You know, I'm still on the MK2 and it works great for still after 8 years. I mean, yeah, the MK2, well, for me personally, I hated it. But, you know, I'm glad somebody loves the MK2. It still gets the job done. The software's, okay, so that's part of my final thoughts is the fact that, granted, we wanted the standalone mode, but we really also want a more capable DAW.
Yes.
Also, I feel they should have spent more time in development of the DAW than in this Maschine Plus. I think if they kept this machine and added this full-fledged DAW where you could do audio, plug the mic directly into the machine and record it, and then, oh, man.
It's game over.
You know that.
Game over. Game over.
Like, you might actually make me leave Logic. Like, you might actually.
Game.
Like,
Yeah, man.
would entertain it. I
It'll
would
take a lot
entertain
to
it.
do that, though, man. Because even with Luna, I was talking about before we went live. I mean, I love Luna, but it's still like, because it's only been out for a few months, they have so much more to do before they could convince me, it's better to use this than Logic.
Right.
Like, they are light years away from that. I don't even think that's their goal with the program. So it's like, I don't think I'll ever fully leave Logic.
But see, that's not the case with Maschine, though.
What do you mean?
But because Maschine has been out there for what, almost 8-9 years?
Yeah,
And
it's been a minute.
And this is where we're at with the Maschine Plus. You've had that long, and this is where we are with the Maschine Plus.
Uh,
Now, I'm going to lose to the fact that the talk at first was the new DAW that was supposed to be coming out, the update.
That's right.
And then they dropped what's out.
A
Like,
device. Yeah.
So
I thought it was a refresh of an MK3, and then they was dropping the better software.
yeah.
I thought
Right.
the same thing actually too.
maybe somebody on that leadership team has ADD. Like, maybe they were working on it, and then they were like, "Oh, a puppy," and they got distracted. And I don't know, man. I mean, I'm
I
not
don't-
trying to make
I don't know
light
either.
of people with ADD, but
Yeah, right. Right, of course. Well, I mean, we
I
all
mean,
got
yeah, I
some.
would
We
make a
all
light
got.
of it, but not like in a politically incorrect way.
I mean,
So
we-
I got
I mean-
you, bro, yeah.
I mean, we all got a bit of ADD somewhere, but
That's why we
I get it.
producers, for real. We gotta
That's how
keep,
we
like,
producers. We gotta.
Yeah.
thinking of it.
I
The
feel
one
That's
thing
how we
that got our
produce.
attention, like, long enough to sit down for hours.
That's
on
right.
it, like, the one thing.
That's right.
I ain't gonna lie,
But,
the NBA playoffs got my attention right now. So I got like my right eye on the game and my left eye like
His eyes were like,
looking like Tiny Zeus Lester, man, just Debo from Friday.
Yeah.
right. So I think in all the conclusion is that it's a good. I don't even say it's a good first step. I don't even want to know if I want to say that. I mean, I think they put their foot into the pool. They wanted to see how they can test the waters, but I think they should have I think they should have put both feet in and say, "Here, we're going to give you this." Maybe they're putting it out as a test. I don't think $1,400 is a test though, but maybe they're going to put it out as a test and then learn from that and then create the next, the dream machine, I guess, and then we'll get that. So, but man, gentlemen, I appreciate you jumping on this live for over an hour, taking time out of your day to kind of talk about this Maschine Plus, what we really thought about it, because I don't remember seeing any other videos talk about what they really thought about this Maschine Plus. So I appreciate it. Rick, thank you very much, sir, for joining in. Lenny, appreciate you, sir. DB, you stay safe out there in St. Louis, brother, because,
Yes, sir.
bruh, I know.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna say I'm glad I moved from there almost 2.5 years ago.
Hey, that's the talking to me and the wife, man. That's the talking
Hey.
to me and the wife.
Come on down to Atlanta. Tell them, Lenny.
That's
Atlanta.
right.
Unless you want to go to
Yeah.
unless you want to go to Nashville with Rick, but you can do
Nashville's the move too. Nashville's a
Nashville's
beautiful
the-
city.
that. Nashville's a move too. It's just mad expensive. It's expensive out in Nashville though. But
Beautiful city.
But yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all tuning in
Thank you.
this discussion on We Create Music TV. But stay tuned. We're going to do more of these types of discussions on just multiple things. So we have a panel coming up next week. We're launching something new called The Conversation, where we are going to spend a kind of this amount of time talking about sync licensing. And so I got 3 great panelists who are experts in the field of sync licensing and getting their music and film and TV. So make sure you tune into that. It comes not next week, September 24th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for my guests who decided to join us today. Greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, we are out, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again.
Peace.
Let's get it.